to Griffon Update Sports, a student-produced show all about Missouri Western Athletics. We've got it all every week. Highlights, games, players, fans, and every sport all year long.
Welcome back to this semester's first Griffon Update Sports. I'm your host, Bailey Ketchum.
And I'm Jake Michael. We've decided to change up the scenery a bit in honor of our fall sports.
On today's show, we're going to talk to all the fall sports about their seasons.
We'll also have our sports trivia and our usual roundtable.
This week, we're discussing the first week in NFL.
Time to talk about this year's GOAT. Speaking of football, the Missouri Western football season is underway. Bailey was able to talk to them about their season.
Football season has started up here at Missouri Western, and they have high expectations. I talked with head coach Matt Williamson to see what he expects.
I want every player in our team to compete every single day, every single practice, every single game. I just want the competition level risen on our team, and it's happened tremendously already. I could tell a huge difference between last year's team, this year's team, just on play on the field, but also I could see it, in the room, in the meeting rooms. You can just kind of see their edge and their drive and their willingness to compete.
Williamson has also brought in a few new coaches to add to the program.
And each coach has a little different way of teaching things, a little different way of scheming things. But what I do is I've got two high-quality coordinators, and then brought in Coach Salgado, and I brought in Coach Louis. I named him as a co-coordinator. But those four guys have put together a great scheme. Exactly what we're trying to do, try to pretty much get an advantage in some sort of aspect in the numbers game. It's really what football comes down to, obviously with technique and fundamentals. But
senior quarterback Don Marino adds his thoughts on this season.
The season is to win games. We want to win each game that we play in, so that's what we shoot for. More than that, we want to build a foundation for this program to excel in the future, so that's what we're focusing on. With any new coaching staff, we know what to expect now, so now that we know what's expected of us, we can just go play ball, not think about messing up or anything like that. So when you know what's expected of you, you're more comfortable and you're able to make more plays.
This is Bailey Ketchum for Griffon Update Sports.
I love the passion and intensity the team plays with. They had a big win last week against number 5 Fort Hays and head to Central Missouri this weekend.
You know who has their opening weekend at home this weekend?
Soccer.
No, I wish. Volleyball.
Oh, yeah. I need to get out there. Reporter Dawson Whitman has more with the defending MIAA champs about this season and what they hope to accomplish.
The Missouri Western State's women's volleyball team is in full swing with the 2018 season. They are currently 7-4 and coming off one of their best years in school history, in which the Lady Griffons won 25 games, which is tied for the most in school history. With former MWSU alum and reigning 2017 MIAA Coach of the Year at the helm, Coach Marion Carbon believes that although they had a really good season last year, it's a brand new year with a lot of new opportunities.
I think we're most excited to just see this new team and what they're capable of and see them reach their max potential. We've tried not to talk very much about last year because nothing we did last year is going to help us win a match this year. And so we're really just trying to figure out what this new group is like, what we're all about, and see how far this group can take us.
Even though there is a new group of players from Missouri Western, they are still led by two seniors in Shelby Taylor and Audrey Kime. Both players say they are ready to compete in conference play as well as play in their final year here at Missouri Western.
I think just the level of competition. We know that every time we step into the gym, no one's playing time is ever guaranteed. We have a lot of really good freshmen, a lot of really good returners, a lot of several transfers that are coming in. So just the level of competition, whether it's in our court or also during games, our conference is extremely hard and our region's extremely hard as well. So just the level of competition, it's just continuing to increase year by year. So I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's a lot, and so this is really a family atmosphere, and just to be able to play my final year is an amazing experience, especially with my closest friends.
Obviously for Missouri Western, the ultimate goal is to win a national title, but last year's MIAA Freshman of the Year, who's back for her sophomore season, and Allie Talkin says it's just one step at a time.
at some point we'd like to win a national championship, but to get there we have to meet our milestones. So we don't look ahead, we look week to week and who's our next opponent, when are we playing, what goals do we need to set to beat them, and so taking it one step at a time is really important.
The Lady Griffins are currently ranked 25th in the nation and have high expectations for this year. But what is it going to take in order to consider 2018 a successful season?
We always try to measure success in different ways, but ultimately your job as a coach is to help your team reach their potential. So if you can take a group of 15 different girls and help that group reach its potential, whatever that might be. So if for this group we think that's a national championship, then you measure success by, did we reach our potential, did we get there, or did we at least get close, did we compete for one, did we make it to the national tournament? And so I think it'll be measured along those lines, is once we figure out exactly what this group's potential is, do we reach it?
With conference play just beginning this week, it won't be long before we find out if this 2018 Ladies Griffins volleyball team will be able to build off of last year's success. Reporting for Griffon Media, I'm Dawson Whitman.
Let's hope they continue their hot streak at home. They play Friday against Central Missouri. Make sure to go out and support.
We get to play the Jennies next weekend.
How is the soccer season going?
It's going by too fast. We're already approaching our third weekend.
Wow, that is going by fast. Reporter Mackenzie Bowes has the latest with the soccer team.
Half of Missouri Western's soccer team this year is made up of freshmen. Senior Megan Manor tells us how the transition has been.
It's a lot of new faces to get used to on the field, definitely, but I think we're all blending together pretty well. We've been together for about a month, and I think our chemistry is really high, and it's definitely something to get used to. It's not every day that you have new players all the time, but I definitely think we're doing pretty well.
Head coach Chad Edwards says there's more to the game than just soccer.
I just love our kids. I love how they, we talk about the 3 C's, classroom, community, and competition. And, it was really cool to see in 2017 all that come to fruition. But that was just building upon what all of our players have done up to that point. They've really embraced our community, and we love our community, give back a lot, which this community deserves. Us to be out there and there and helping them, and they've done a fantastic job in the classroom, for the last several years. And we did have our highest GPA last year, the most amount of community service hours, and then we won our most games too. And so, that's kind of, we've always focused in on that, and it's been cool to see Josh, that's what he's come in, and what he truly values is those 3 areas. And so it's been neat that our program was already kind of defined by that, and now it's up to us to execute and continue to get better in all 3 phases. And so we really want to focus in on getting our highest GPA ever, which our players doing a fantastic job in the classroom. They take a lot of pride in it, and something that we challenge with them every day is to do the right thing on and off the field, especially in the classroom.
Reporting for Griffon Media, this is Mackenzie Bowes.
Go Griffs.
Sounds like you are having a good start to your season. They'll be home next weekend against Central Missouri.
Hey, were you able to get to the first ever home cross-country meet?
I wish. Thankfully, reporter Morgan Doyle was able to get some great coverage of it and talk with the team.
On your mark.
It's September 1st, and Missouri Western is playing host to their first ever home cross-country meet, the Griffon Open. The course is located right behind all the dorms, and the girls will be running a 5K with the guys running a 7K. This is only the second year for the cross-country and track and field programs here at Missouri Western, but they are under new direction with the hiring of head coach Yuri Litvinsky and assistant coach Cody Ingold moving to coach the distance.
It was fun. It was good competition. The course is a little hard, so it's fun to be able to go out there and compete and run. So.
And compete they did, as both men and women came out on top, taking home wins on both sides. Sophomore Megan Gillen came in second overall and led the Lady Griffins with a time of 21:03 in the 5K, while freshman Andrew Wright also finished second overall, leading the Western men with a time of 24:42 in the 7K.
I like doing well, but I'm glad that our team did well too, for the most part. I'm really excited about that more than anything.
While running may be a big individual sport, being successful as a team is something that the Griffins cross-country team takes seriously.
We think that we have a really good team that can
be in the top half at conference, and so that's one of our main goals this season. And coaches talk about that. It's nice to kind of have the first one like under our belt too. So all the freshmen have ran once now.
It's awesome. Our girls are undefeated in season openers, so batting 1,000.
And what better way to jumpstart their season than with 2 wins on their home turf?
Today, obviously for us, it's huge. We're hosting the first college meeting in program's history, so extremely excited to get that going as a program, as an institution. We're super excited to get to host the meeting and actually compete at home. Huge for us.
The top 10 finishers in their respective races consisted of 7 men and 9 women from Missouri Western, allowing both teams an opportunity to ring the bell.
I mean, we're good, but then we just have a little bit of work to do as a team-wise and just team bonding and stuff, but we're looking good. I'm excited to see how the season goes.
Progress on what we did last year, hopefully finish a little higher. Guys definitely have a lot of room to improve. Girls, were pretty good last year, and I think we can be better than we were last year. So just steadily improve within the conference, and then hopefully at the regional level too.
In each of their races today, both the men's and women's teams scored a total of 20 points, allowing them to beat Missouri Valley and Bellevue University. And with 2 team wins in their season opener, this fall sure is looking to be a good one for the Griffins. For Griffin Media, I'm Morgan Doyle.
Once again, I could never run cross country.
You ready for some sports trivia, though?
Of course. Per usual, we like to get out on campus to get Missouri Western students involved and talk sports with them. Here's our segment, Do You Know Your Sports, with Bailey Ketchum.
We are here doing Missouri Western sports trivia. Bryce, what team won the conference last year?
Volleyball.
Correct. Who is Missouri Western's athletic director? Josh Looney. You're right. What is our head men's basketball coach, Sundance Wick's favorite slogan?
Bring your own juice, baby.
Who is the new cross-country and track coach this year?
Yuri Levitsky.
Close enough. How many seasons has the head football coach been at Missouri Western?
He's in his 2nd season, I think.
You're right. What 2 teams play at Spratt Stadium?
I'm going to say soccer and football.
What happened to Looney Arena this summer?
I believe it got renovated. It got painted, a lot of new colors, and a lot of Mo West things going around there, I believe.
How many teams this year have new head coaches, and what are the teams?
There's 2 in men's basketball and track and field.
Who is the new pavilion in Spratt Stadium named after?
It was named after Bill Snyder because he was from St. Joe and he went on to be the head coach at Kansas State.
You're right.
I think I got most of those, definitely the football ones.
We'll have plenty more football talk during the roundtable after this break.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Jake and I are here along with sports reporter Dawson Whitman to talk about the first week in NFL. Jake, what are your thoughts?
Well, let's just say that I'm glad this show does not air on Mondays because that's what everybody calls overreaction Mondays. And I want everybody to just take a deep breath because think about like in 2016 when Aaron Rodgers, like the Packers after week 10 were like 4-6, and then he was like, all right, everybody relax. And then he runs the table, wins 6 games, they make the playoffs. So not everybody has a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, but everybody just relax. It's only 1 week. Though I think the big red flag that I have is the Saints losing to the Bucs in a high-scoring affair this past week. The Saints' schedule doesn't get much easier. Okay, they got the entire NFC South in their division, and then they have the NFC East: Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, all those teams, and then they have the LA Rams on their schedule. So these games that you're supposed to win, you got to win them because it's not going to get much easier. So that's a big red flag. Maybe it's because of what happened last year, that Minneapolis Miracle in the divisional game last year. Maybe that's still kind of hanging over their heads, still kind of haunting them. So we'll see if it continues to haunt them.
I mean, back to that Saints game, it was a high-scoring affair. Good thing I had Drew Brees as my fantasy quarterback. Right. But Ryan Fitzpatrick played very well that game. He came in for suspended Jameis Winston. and threw the ball all over the field, made some great plays. He had a long touchdown pass to Deshaun Jackson. But there's a lot of storylines in week one, and I just love it. Football's back. We're here. You talked about Aaron Rodgers. He got hurt, came back, and had probably one of the greatest games we're ever going to see. At least you can rank them how you want, but that's up there for sure. Another thing is being a homer from Kansas City with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and I call him Patty Cakes, and he's a stud, man. He's going to be good. It is week one. Don't overreact to anything. They got the Chiefs do have to go to Pittsburgh, but without Le'Veon Bell, we'll see if he even comes back in a week. I don't think he will. James Conner played well. They tied the Browns, which the Browns look a lot better too. They have a good defense with Myles Garrett and their offense with great wide receiver core. They have the new quarterback Tyrod Taylor. It's pretty exciting year so far.
Yeah. Packers, I mean, that was a crazy game. I think we can all speak. Like, no one expected Rodgers to come back in that. I think adrenaline was probably his best friend in that because he hit that leg injury. I mean, I don't think I'd be able to do it. But it's like, he's the quarterback. He's the leader on that team. He came back. He knew what he had to do. Chiefs, yeah. Pat Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, I don't think people give them enough props. It's like they were like magic together. I mean, Tyreek Hill caught 7 of the 8 passes that Mahomes was throwing out to him. It's just like everything was just connecting, and I expect a lot out of the Chiefs this year. They were doing a lot of college-type plays, which I think is going to be big in the NFL these next few years. I know a lot of coaches aren't big fans of those, but it's going to be something that people are going to have to work with.
Yeah, no, exactly. They do have some tricks up their sleeve, the Chiefs do. The one other thing is that they have great personnel on offense, and Travis Kelce only had 1 catch for 6 yards that whole game against the Chargers in LA, against a team that some people thought was actually going to steal the division from them, and they go ahead and win 38-28. So there's going to be some times when teams are going to have to decide. It's pick your poison. You want to take away Tyreek Hill, well, now you got to deal with Travis Kelce. And then without him, you got Kareem Hunt. The one team I was really impressed with was Minnesota. We know last year on both sides of the ball, they're very talented. They got a great group of guys on offense and defense. They went 13-3 last year with Case Keenum under center, and he had a great year. But when you got a defense like they have, to back you up and give you good field position, that doesn't hurt. But now you got Kirk Cousins, who's thrown for 4,000 yards in the last 3 seasons that he played in Washington. That's a great addition. They're always going to be solid, And when you got a guy like Cousins, he's either going to at least get you in scoring position. That makes it a lot easier on your defense, but that defense will back him up too. So you don't necessarily have to score touchdowns, but at least get yourself in scoring position.
And we can't fail to mention the other rookie standouts like Saquon Barkley. He had a massive run, but then he was playing a great defense in Jacksonville, who shut him down after that, frankly. And Blake Bortles is their guy, and there was so much talk in the offseason whether he's going to be the guy, whether they're going to trade for somebody, and they said nope. They signed him to a new contract, and they were able to get a win in New York. I believe that was in New York. And then another rookie, Sam Darnold. We saw him last night on Monday Night Football, and he opened the game. His first throw was a pick 6, and you're thinking, oh goodness, here we go, another Mark Sanchez, USC, the butt fumble, New York, and he turns right around. They get him a couple easy throws, and he takes off from there. They end up winning by like 31, had a couple touchdowns. Impressive. And another thing, speaking of quarterbacks, is I find it kind of funny. So you start here, we talked about Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes took over for Alex Smith. Alex Smith got traded to the Redskins. So he goes to the Redskins, and he gets a win there against the Cardinals. Adrian Peterson played very well. Some people were like, is he done? Is he washed up? He's older. No, he ran the ball a lot and had I think over 100 yards rushing, if I'm not mistaken. And then you go to who the Redskins had at quarterback, and Kirk Cousins, you mentioned Minnesota, played very well, got a win there. And then Case Keenum, who came from Minnesota and went to Denver, and Denver got a win. They look a lot better than what people, I think, are giving them credit for. They could even they have a good defense. Again, they got Adam Pac-Man Jones back there. So, and then playing in Mile High is never easy. As a Chiefs guy, I don't really care for the Broncos. Yeah. The Raiders, they got Chucky back on the sidelines. I think he's like 10-year contract or something like that. And there's all this hype there. It was a good football game last night. And then the Rams, who are also dangerous, they got a good defense over there in L.A., were able to step up and play very well. On the road in the Black Hole, Monday Night Football, first game of the year, and the defense really showed up. Jared Goff played well. So many storylines, and I'm just so excited football's back.
Yeah, I can tell. I want to touch on Barkley. I expected a lot out of him just with being the number 2 pick, but the Jags were on him. I mean, his 8 carries, he only got 12 yards. Like, they were on him before he was even crossing the line of scrimmage. But that was great to see at the end of the game with that 68-yard run touchdown. That was great. I think the Giants will go as far as Barkley and Odell will take them because they're big people on their offensive side. So I'm excited to see what those two do with that team. Sam Darnold, after that pick 6, obviously that was a terrible start, but it's like he didn't even blink an eye. It was just kind of like, you know what? I think it was just the nerves kind of kicking in. He's the youngest quarterback to start a game since the 70s. So I'm really excited to see what he does. I think that's going to be a big thing for the Jets this year that will take them farther than they have in the past and hopefully get into some championship games.
And they even said, or Sam Darnold even in the interview after the game said, yeah, I threw the interception, felt terrible, and then just told myself I got to get back out there and just keep going on. And he went on.
Yeah, he most definitely did. His biggest knock coming out of college was that he did throw a lot of interceptions. He turned the ball over a lot, but when he gets himself into a rhythm, as a defense, you're shaking in your cleats a little bit. But no, he was electrifying. Barkley's going to be. He looks like he's the real deal. It looked like they made the right pick in New York. I made a top 5 list. Now all this is subjected to change after week 1. But number 1, I have Minnesota for the reasons I just mentioned. Both sides of the ball, they're very solid. And they're going to play with a lot of intensity, a lot of toughness. Number 2 is the Rams. Now, they're probably better on paper, and with the offseason acquisitions they made, Marcus Peters and Ndamukong Suh, guys like that, Brandon Cooks, they're probably better than Minnesota, but for those guys like Peters and Suh, kind of can be problem children in the locker room. So I'll see if they can bring it together. They do also have the reigning Offensive Player of the Year and Coach of the Year, so got to mention that too. Number 3, New England, just because they're always going to get better. They're not the best team in September, but come November, December, they're going to bring it all together.
They have Tom Brady.
Yeah, most definitely. And Bill Belichick.
Can't count them out.
Can never count them out. And then number 4, Kansas City, electrifying offense. Still some question marks on defense, but they added Breland Speaks, and they added Kyle Fuller. Anthony Hitchens.
Hitchens played very well in place of Derek Johnson, who's now a Raider. Don't even get me started on that. He hurt his legacy, but yeah. Yeah,
and number 5, Philadelphia, until they hold the crown, obviously, because they're defending Super Bowl champs, but until they get that quarterback situation figured out, there's going to be question marks.
I have a question for you. Who would you start? Would you start Nick Foles or Carson Wentz?
Carson Wentz, no doubt. There's a small sample size with Nick Foles, but I just feel like in a game that you have to get back into the game and bring them back, I would rather put my money on Carson Wentz.
We didn't talk a lot about him, but that was a heck of a game to start the opening season between, or to start the year between the Eagles and Falcons on Thursday Night Football, the banner celebration, and Julio Jones caught the ball in the end zone that would have, I think, won the game, but he was out of bounds. So can't ask for much more for this first week.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. I want Wentz in there. I think he'll be big for the Eagles this year. Let's talk a little bit about the Patriots. Obviously, Brady's still the GOAT, but he got a little risky this week. I know he threw that pass to Gronk double coverage. Do you guys think it was a catch?
I think under the new rules that they modified this past offseason, I think that is a catch because he followed out through the entire process. It can bobble a little bit as he's coming down, and that's okay because of the new rule change, but I think it was.
And I think if they didn't make that old rule, I think no one would have questioned whether it was a catch or not. It was a catch. But the catch in the end zone where he was double covered and he just boxed the defender out and went, man, that guy's a beast. If he can stay healthy, he's a completely different factor for that Patriots offense.
Yeah. Well, we'll have plenty more football to talk about with this season, obviously. After this break, we'll take a look at more results from our teams and this week's upcoming sporting events. Welcome back. Before we end the show, we want to give you more updates about what's going on with all Missouri Western sports.
Volleyball went 2-1 this weekend in the Newman tournament, and soccer went 1-1 last weekend in South Dakota.
For the upcoming schedule, volleyball is home against UCM on Friday and Lindenwood Saturday. Football is away against UCM on Saturday at 1 p.m. Soccer is also away against Lindenwood Friday and Northwest Sunday. Women's tennis heads to Des Moines this weekend for the Drake Invitational. Men's golf will compete in the 20th annual NSU Golf Classic next Monday in Oklahoma. And cross country heads to Joplin this weekend for the Missouri Southern Stampede.
That's all we have for you today. For more information on Griffon Athletics, check out gogriffons.com. Also check out Bailey's Sports Report on Griffon Update next week.
We've got you covered every week. From all of us here at Griffon Update Sports, thank you for watching.